Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, and also for some of you, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Rhiannon Watson and today's topic is the why question. So as we get older, for some reason society likes to shun us for asking a lot of why questions, especially when we get a new job or, just in general where we lack knowledge in something and we ask why. It can be seen as annoying, or that you're inadequate, or that, you just don't know, which sometimes makes you feel like a bit of an outcast, right? So this made me question what happens in our childhoods to stop promoting us to ask the why question. Now, working in childcare for 9 years, I observed a lot, in the form of educators, parents, and teachers answering the why question with just because. So a kid will come up to them and they'll say, why does this happen? Or why does this do this? Or why did he say that? And they get told just because. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because the why question is actually so important. Now, if you think about it in real terms as an adult, if we get a new job, do you think the boss prefers us to not ask questions, or just to turn up on day one and see how we go and just not ask if we're not sure? Because I can guarantee you that the boss is screaming for you to ask why. The boss does not want to hire someone who, sometimes you might just get hired on your high energy. You're just a really vibrant, positive person, but you need to gain knowledge on the job. And you're not just going to turn up as your high vibrational self and love it and, ace that job. You need to ask questions why. So I like to look at it like this. When a kid asks a why question, we tend to say get down to their level when you're going to answer them. Now, getting down to their level means two different things in my books. One, physically getting down to their level at eye level and seeing them eye to eye. And two, getting down to their level of awareness. Now, if you're going to answer their question with just because you don't know the answer, their level of awareness cannot perceive that it's because you specifically don't know the answer. Their level of awareness perceives it as you're the higher person, you're the person that they look up to for knowledge, and they're seeking it by asking you a why question. They think that the answer is just because. They think that universally this only happens just because. Now, if you're not going to be honest and tell them, I don't know the answer, let's find out together, then you're denying them of understanding that you as an individual don't know the answer. As a group collective, you can learn things together. You're also going to teach them that adults are still learning every day by telling them you don't know the answer, but telling them just because, they might go into another group setting and hear people talk about the understanding of why that happens, and then they click to the time that they asked you denied them that knowledge, and instead they're now going to come to the realization that you specifically didn't have the knowledge and didn't have the time or patience to obtain it together. And you denied them of that. Regardless of whether you knew it or not, you denied them of the option of even trying to find it. Because from our level of awareness, we can offer, Google searches or asking someone else who's more knowledgeable in that field. They can't do that. They're coming to you with their why question, and just because shuts the whole thing down. So what we can do instead is we can answer them honestly. If you don't know why something happens, tell them, I'm not actually too sure, but let's try and find out. Well, let's find out, And if you do know the answer, then just explain it. You explaining it in a couple of sentences why that thing happens, or why it does what it does, or how it works, gives them that knowledge, and an understanding that they can take away, absorb like the sponge that they are, because every child when they're born is a sponge. And their sponge can soak up all that information and run along and go and, do something with it, or really think about it, or expand their awareness because of this new knowledge. And, it's even exciting if you don't know the answer, because then you get to find it together and they get to learn the process of not just seeking knowledge, but obtaining knowledge as well from nothing. So it's really powerful. It's really exciting. A why question, I think, is the biggest compliment. If someone asks me why I do something, that shows me that they have a curiosity for understanding what I'm doing specifically, me. They've come to me to ask me the why question. So when a kid comes up to you and asks you why, they think that you have the answer out of everybody. They've come to you and they want to hear you explain it to them in the way that they think you can, because they wouldn't come to you if they didn't think you could explain it or teach it. it is a huge compliment to be asked why by a child when something happens. It's also not, and I'm just going to end this on, it's not an ego thing. If you don't know the answer and, you want to withhold it back, it comes from our experiences as a child being denied our why questions. So if we have a resentment towards children when it comes to their why questions, that comes from lack of being explained things ourselves. So we need to look back and think, okay, when was I not explained something? Because this is reflecting in the way I'm responding to the child asking me a why question. It's not that the child bugs you. It's not that the child is doing anything. They're the sponge. They're the sponge. You're in their vicinity and trying to soak it up around you. And it's literally an acknowledgement that their curiosity for understanding is valid. So I hope this helps. I'm really excited to make some more of these. I'm just gonna flick them out as they come in inspiration and jump in front of the camera. I do notice my sun has literally gone down a little bit, and well, not my sun, our sun has gone down a little bit, and now my lighting is fully changed, but hey, we're raw, we're real, and we're getting stuff done. So I'm really excited to make more of these. Send in any questions or topics you want me to talk about. I'm honestly open to anything, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Love, light, and blessings. Mwah.